Hey folks, Brian again. Hey, this is my last video from GenCon 2018. This was my final game, which was Saturday night, 6 to 10. The Broken Tower. The one I love. I love it. But it is one of my favorite scenarios for Room Plus role-playing in Glorantha, since there's only like 3 of them now. So, but this is what I did first, and I made my pawns for this thing. I made terrain and all kinds of stuff, and I brought my mat, so I could draw stuff out. And I'm a tactical player. I even got some. I printed out some terrain sheets for the rocky terrain for when they run into the rock blizzards and stuff. And it was just my first game that I ran for Chaosium. So I put a lot of effort and emphasis into this, and I think I know it fairly well. I also built up my own scenario booklet, so it was highlighted for certain things in certain ways, and refocused how things were done, just so I could follow along with it easier. But again, it's been a year since I've run this one, so I was a little rusty. Like I said, this was my last game at GenCon. After a full day of playing, we had a family there, mom, dad, and their son, and then 2 or 3 other players. Don't recall. I want to see if we could have up to 6 in the scenario. So they had everybody. We got started a little late because my last game ran over. And so, we got rolling the scenario. We got their character sheets. We discussed stuff and how things run. And I did my little scenario on how they're doing their morning routine when the bell rings. And everybody looks to the center of the village, and then it rings again. So everybody takes off to the center of the village. And the clan chieftain's wife is out there on the steps of the longhouse and calls out to Harmast. Harmast, gather up Vasana and Vishidan and shoot the other ones, by name, and bring them in. And then she turns around, goes in. They all come together, and they speak about the whole attack and the cattle being stolen. They need to go and find the cattle, get retribution, return the cattle, that kind of stuff, right? And so they discuss among themselves about what to do next and that kind of thing, and do they need to be tracking and that kind of stuff. They didn't question the girl who survived the attack, so they missed some information there. Then they didn't actually go and investigate the attack sites. They missed some information there. But 60 head of cattle make a big trail, not hard to follow. They follow a couple days later. They get to where it turns north. There's the murder of crows. They go up there. They see the body. Somebody flips her over. They investigate. Somebody spots the old shaman. They go and capture him. They do his thing, and he's does his spiel. They go back out, and he, will you help me put her to rest? Like I said, they do the whole sing and dance and help him with his worship ceremony and doing the raise the spirit thing. Got special success on that, so she pops up in just a couple of rounds. Somewhere in the midst of all this, I got pulled out by Chaosium because we're doing a prize giveaway. Actually took longer than I was expecting it to take, but I did win a PDF of the New Gods of Glorantha booklet, which I also bought the manuscript version there at GenCon, and I got the hardcover rules as well. Which reminds me, I actually watched Jason running a Room Plus Glorantha combat campaign adventure on Encounter Roleplay, and won a PDF copy of the bestiary. Hey, so I've got all 3 PDFs now, and hard copies of 2. So things are both on. Well, anyway, so there was a lot of time that we lost for our 4-hour game. Come back, and we continue playing. They put the spirit to rest. Vishy sends the girl off. They do ask her a couple of questions. She gets a little bit out, so they know some stuff's been going on. Then she points out the rock, size of an egg, covered in her blood. That if they throw it down, she'll come, kind of thing. One of them takes that. They all head back to the shaman's hut for the night because the storm's coming in. The animals from the front, little description there. They tell stories. Restless night. Next morning they come out. Rain, flooding. It's harder to find the trail after you make tracking rolls now, but they get it's like double your percentage kind of thing because it's still very large and easy to follow. But they are able to follow it this time, and they go through the pathway, and they hear one makes a listen roll to hear a cattle bellowing. So he takes out ahead of everybody else to see what's going on. He actually casts movement on himself, so he's moving at double speed. And he comes around the corner in an open area, and you can see the cattle, the rock lizards. He runs up there, engages them, takes 2 rounds for everybody else to catch up to that point. Somebody else is following along with him, so they're shooting arrows. And so there's a big combat with these rock lizards. And I had 5 rock lizards out there because it was a full 6-party group. And combat went pretty quick. No real issues there. They took out the rock lizards in short order. They're targeting there's 5 rock lizards, 2 are on the cattle, 3 are behind. They're targeting the rock lizards on the cattle, at least the guy in front is. He's trying to get them off the cow and onto him kind of thing. It's a great tactic and it worked. And he circled around, got the other one. And one of them got hurt enough where they do a befuddle on him. Oh, I think they did. Yeah, I think one of them did a befuddle on him, so it took off. But he chased it down and killed it because his mobility was so high, he could no problem catching it down and still attacking. And then with arrows and javelins and some other missile weapons they get there, they kill the other ones. And they get the cow, do some heal on it, and they bring it along with them. They find the road, the main here. There's the village. They do spot the guy popping up. They go over there, try to do the detect enemies thing. But he's actually running away from them, so he's not really enemy on them now. They move up. They get the verbiage on the whole demon worship thing against defending against chaos, and so they got this confusion of what's really going on here. They go further, they hear more on the cattle, so they move up there, they get in front of the tower, they hear the chanting. Guy tries to sneak in, makes a critical success on his stealth roll. Excuse me. So there's the bad guy kneeling down in front of the altar doing the chanting thing, and he moves up on him. Doesn't make it on his second roll. So the guy sees him, grabs his shield, pulls his sword, and is ready to fight. They do some fighting there. Everybody else comes in. I have a little spiel I do about with all the blood and everything else happening there. One of the players is going to check out the bodies that are sleeping by the side, and the other one engaged the bad guy. Got a special, I think it was on his gut or his abdomen, so he collapses down. Is comatose, but someone who's comatose can still heal themselves. So he does a heal 3 on himself, brings himself back up. So next round he gets up. They freak out, but they're able to take him down again in short order. But at that point, we're at or pressing on or just past 10 o'clock, so we kind of ended it at that point. I do some discussions. We're cleaning up about the statue. She was a dream and that kind of stuff, and they get the cattle and go home. And quick and easy solution there instead of lots of things that can happen to keep them from getting home. Time seems to be a real issue with convention games. C'est la vie. You guys have a good game. You folks have a good game.